Hey again, it's Celeste from Exposed Organics. I just thought I'd do another video on a few more of our products just to get everybody acquainted with our company. Today I'm going to do a video on how to use our metallic line of eye dust. We were inspired a few years ago to make some metallic eyeshadows after seeing a Beyonce video where she had silver metallic eyeshadow, and we were kind of frustrated because every time we bought a metallic shadow, it would end up either being just glitter or the metallic aspect of it would kind of just decrease throughout the day. So we came out with a line of metallics. We have a bronze, we have a silver, which is called platinum, and then we have a gold, which is called goddess. When you apply them dry, they're kind of just glittery, but when you apply them with nectar, that's when you get the full metallic look. You can apply them with nectar and foil your lid, and you'll get a metallic look that'll last all day long. So I'm just going to take the makeup off that I already have on. I'm going to use some of our oil cleanser, and I will show you exactly the best way to use our metallic eyeshadows. Alright, so to take my makeup off, I'm going to start with some of our oil cleanser, and I'm just going to pour it on a cosmetic sponge here. I only want to take my eyes off, not my whole entire skin, so I'm just going to take this off. And it wipes off very, very easily with the oil cleanser. Okay, my eye makeup is off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with my mixing tray, and I poured some nectar inside my mixing tray. I'm going to grab my platinum, and I'm going to grab my goddess, and those are the two I'm going to demonstrate for you today. So now I'm going to show you how to use them. First I'm going to take just a smudge eyeshadow brush. You can use pretty much any one. I just prefer to start with this to get my base layer on. So I'm going to dip my brush in the nectar. Again, you don't want to get your brush too wet, but there is a trick. If you over wet your brush and your shadow is too wet, then you can always go back with a dry brush and just pat some of your shadow on top, and that way you will prolong the life of your look for the day. Dipped my brush in some into the nectar, and then I dipped it into the platinum eyeshadow. So what you do is you put on the first layer of shadow, and as you can see, it's very metallic. Working with metallics is a little bit harder because they're not usually quite as smooth as a regular shadow. But if you can see, I put on my first base coat of the metallic. So now I'm going to take a flat eyeshadow brush, and I'm just going to get some dry pigment on top, and I'm just going to pat that right on top of the base layer of the pigment mixed with the nectar. So I don't know if you can tell or not, but it is definitely metallic, kind of like aluminum foil on the silver. So that's the platinum shade. Now I'm going to show you what goddess looks like, which is the gold shade, and then I'm going to clean it up a little bit and finish a little bit of a look. And I dipped my brush in nectar, and then I dipped it into the pigment. And I'm going to put a nice base layer of the wet goddess. And then again, I'm going to take a dry brush and just pack it right on top. And there's the goddess, which is a nice metallic gold. So this is going to last all day long. It's not going to crease, and it's going to stay metallic. It's not going to lose any of its metallic effect because I did start with the wet nectar first. So I'm just going to real quick clean myself up and even myself out, and then I'll show you the final look that I came up with our metallic eyeshadows. Okay, so as you can see, I've actually taken the platinum off of my right eye and replaced it back with goddess. So I just did a base of both, on both eyes of goddess. First I applied it with the nectar, and then I pressed some shadow on top just to make it last a little bit longer. So what I did to finish up my look for this metallic look, I took a little bit of the Celestial pigment, which is a black pigment that has a little bit of a blue iridescent undertone to it. It's a really nice color to use in the creases and as a a liner. And then I also am going to use some of our Highlight Gold pigment, which I will try to make a tutorial on how to use our highlight colors very, very soon. But they're great as accents, they're great as highlights for your eyes, but they're also great as highlights for your cheekbones, for your nose, anywhere that you would usually use a highlight color. The highlights are great to use because it adds just a little bit of iridescence. The gold highlight is a great color to use because it kind of gives you a goddessy, beachy sheen to your skin. I'm gonna take my MAC, I'm pretty sure this is the 219, I believe, the MAC 219 brush. I'm just gonna get some of my Celestial pigment on there, and I'm gonna use this just in the corners, and I'm gonna drag it into my crease. Just gonna apply a little dab. So I don't want it to be too powerful. So just put it right there in the corners. And I'm actually going to take one of my Ulta professional brushes, which I actually just recently discovered. Ulta has a line of professional brushes that are great, and they're a lot less expensive than the usual brushes that I buy from MAC or even Sephora, and they work very, very well. So I'm just going to take this fat brush here, kind of just drag and blend, just to add a little bit of depth into the corner of my eyes there. And then I'm going to go underneath my eye with another one of my new Ulta Professional brushes. This is the small eye shader, and I'm just going to use this to kind of line underneath my eye with the Celestial pigment. I'm going to do the outer third, and then I'm going to smudge. Our pigments are dye-free, and they're also paraben and petroleum free. So it's a lot safer to use our pigments if you're going to be using it to waterline or anything. It's much safer to use dye-free pigments and chemical-free pigments if you're going to be getting them into your actual eye. Alright, so now I'm going to take my Studio Gear number 38 brush, which is a angled blending brush. I also bought this at Ulta, and it's a great line of brushes. I'm just going to take this and blend this Goddess and the Celestial up a little bit. And then I'm actually going to take the same brush after I clean it, and then I'm going to dip it in the Highlight Gold pigment. I'm going to use the Highlight Gold to highlight my brow bone. So I'm going to start right here at the angle, and then I'm going to blend in. The Highlight Gold really creates a nice effect with the metallics, because you get an iridescent and a metallic effect. I don't know if you can quite tell what it looks like on the video, but it's just a nice iridescent. If you have an Ulta by you, I highly recommend this brush. It's one of my favorites. I use it pretty much every single day. Alright, so I'm just going to use my fan brush to clean up some fallout here. And then I'm going to go back and take a little brush, and I'm just going to put a little bit of the Highlight Gold on the inside corners of my eyes, just to brighten. And then I'm just going to drag it out a little bit here. Go. So I have a metallic gold eyelid, I have a Highlight Gold on the inner tear duct and as my brow highlight, and then I use Celestial in the creases and to line underneath. And now I have a nice metallic look that's going to last the rest of the day, and it's really not too overpowering. It's a very subtle metallic look, but it's still metallic, and it's a great look to have. Bye-bye.